But pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. They're just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
The intended target was Calvin Ridley. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. Gain on the play.
I don't know about you, Brandon, but I often think to myself, in these situations, I want a back who can create his own space, who can break tackles, and in a sense, become his own blocker. We don't have that guy in the game right now.
No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. Garoppolo now on 3rd and goal. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Demarius Randall. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Out comes Deshaun Watson, ready to captain the ship here for this Houston offense.
Well, he did go 2-2 in the last ball game. Well, actually, he went 2-2-1, with the 1 being the victory.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line there. But wasn't it funny at practice? He threw one when we were watching, threw an interception, and the defense got on him a little bit, good-naturedly. But they're letting him know, you got to cut down those interceptions. We can't bail you out all the time.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But as you said, they got the win in that effort last week. The numbers on the ground for Jones last week. 18 carries, 85 yards.
After the last game, they have plenty of reason to be confident in their running game. And even though they're facing a top 10 defense, they're not going to shy away from doing what they do best. Make them adjust to them. Make them stop what they do before they go to any type of a changeup.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. A shotgun snap for Watson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Nate Gary. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. So a pretty shaky start here for both sides.
Yeah, each quarterback's throwing a ball to the other team. Do you think on both sidelines they're sitting them down and saying, okay, remember, this is the color.
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Ross Blacklock in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. That's caught out wide by Cooks. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6 at the 22-yard line.
Faking the give. Now Watson. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. And he fires one, but incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. Stops shy of the 45 despite some powerful running. It was Mike Hilton up to make the tackle. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
It's 2nd and 8.
A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. So a first quarter sack, and remember, keep in mind he had 2 sacks in last week's game.
And it's always intriguing to me to watch these great pass rushers because some of them, they need their teammates to scheme for them. Maybe occupy people and make it a one-on-one matchup. Other guys, they just defeat everything in front of them. To get 2 sacks in a game, it's a little bit of both for you. One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 11 yards there, just like last play.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
We're scoreless after 1.
Score.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard.
At the 40-yard line.
This is Jones. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line.
I think they like this drive a little bit better than a partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
This defense is really flown around in the 1st half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get his running game going. That was not a real confident throw right there, and he's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big 3rd down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. He's got Harrison left side complete. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call. They go back to the ground with Jones. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
The Steelers' 23-yard line.
Out of the gun, Watson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
To number 82. It's a gain of 4. Makes it 3rd and 7.
From the gun, here's Watson. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Anthony Brown. And he'll get this back across the midfield stripe and down to the 47-yard line.
They'll take over 1st and 10.
Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down.
First down, Pittsburgh.
Working from the gun, Garoppolo. And that's going to be incomplete. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Looking sideline, incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync. Only way to play good defense.
5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Steelers 3. Texans.
So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you can get to the red zone and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
Set to take over again, Deshaun Watson and this Texans offense. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out, and instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either.
At the 26-yard line.
On 2nd and 9, Watson. And he completes it to Cohen. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Throwing again is Watson. Flushed out right. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Ronald Jones, his first touchdown on the year.
Kaimi Fairbairn lining up for the extra.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And that makes it a 7-3 lead.
Steelers 3. Kaimi Fairbairn to kick.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And looking at this situation, Charles, you got more than a minute. You've got all 3 timeouts. Probably no need to play this safe.
So what you're saying is that we're doing a little bit of a mind meld here, aren't we? Because I'm thinking along the same lines as you. This amount of time, don't be compelled to play it too safe. This is a chance to get points on the board. Press it a little bit.
Especially since a touchdown here gets you the lead. And boy, that that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
Texans fans, because it's third.
Throwing is Garoppolo on third down. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And just a 30-yard punt that time. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And here comes the Texans now. And they'll be looking to build off of a nice drive last time, a drive that really relied on the quarterback.
Making good decisions, distributing the ball well, distributing it accurately, keeping it away from danger. A really nicely run drive.
But now the defense, what adjustments do they need to make in the passing game?
Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Whether it's the guys up front or maybe you bring additional guys, but you've got to disrupt the timing of them throwing the football.
We'll see if they can disrupt it here.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the first. Operating from the gun, Watson. Flush to his right. And now he's going to use his legs. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
10 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and inches at the Steelers' 25-yard line.
From the gun, Watson going for it all. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. Marquise Brown was the intended target. 3rd down here. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. Right hash mark of 42-yard attempt. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So they get the 3, increase their lead to close out the half.
Excellent way to end a drive, going to the locker room with a little bit of extra momentum after adding 3 to their total.
And this carries into the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. With a white flag coming out as they line up to kneel on it. The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the 2nd quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the 2nd half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the 2nd half. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the 3rd quarter. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. So here are the Texans to take over. They got the victory last week. That was against Jacksonville, and they lead this one as well right now. Out in front here, they've got it 1st and 10. The The second half starts with a carry by Jones. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
First down.
Gosh, when you've gotten Deshaun Watson, Charles, executing a run-pass option, that puts the defense in a tough spot, does it not?
It does, and what I liked is that you called me this week, watching your own video, your own tape, and you said, I think the runner's going to pop a few.
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And to the 43, so down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. He was under duress, surveying, trying to find somebody to get the ball out of his hands. In the meantime, the defense, they took it out of his hands.
And when the ball snapped, I know exactly what the defense is thinking. Get a sack, put him on the ground. But when you can also knock the ball free while doing so, oh, there's the bonus for you as a defender.
Here we go.
After the fumble recovery, it's Garoppolo. It's caught on the right side. It's Smith. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
The throw over the middle, taken in. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Traquan Smith, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be fielded inside the 5. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33.
33-yard line.
And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. We've seen him be good so far. He's hoping to continue that trend here in quarter number 3.
And typically when you see guys running it this well, they see the game in slow motion, don't they? They see the cuts happen, they see the blocks happen, they feel really good about their vision, and then they use their legs to find that open space.
And he's had some good help up front to boot. They'll run it with Jones. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second in just about a few inches here.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job, and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Hollywood Brown, the intended receiver. And now it's third down.
Third down.
Here's Watson. And now Watson throws another interception. It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it. The 20, 10, and he brings this one back. It's a pick six for a Steeler touchdown. Short throw pick six right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
The extra point splits the uprights, and that makes it a 17-10 score. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. Taking it about the 1. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position and throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest. What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness is a premium for all of that now.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. They'll run on first down. Jones. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
The pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
Operating from the gun. Watson. Quick slant to Brown. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 37. Give them 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn them a fresh set of downs. Now a first down throw. Watson eluding the pressure right. He's going to take off with it. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
Oh, felt like that move deserved more than he got there. A gain of 2. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Complete to number 84. Brings up 3rd down.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Texans on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. They're looking at 3rd and the nose of the football.
Let's get off the field. Switch.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7. But first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. From 8 yards out. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game.
You got to figure down by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And an important one that is as we are all tied now early in this 4th quarter. 17-17 the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Jimmy Garoppolo and his offense heading back on the field. What can they do now, Charles, to make sure this highlight montage doesn't continue to show more pressure and pressure and pressure?
You feel like it always comes back to leverage, don't you? Who is going to win that battle, the offensive and defense?
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this fourth quarter to try to grab that lead back. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. A gain of 6 there on first.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Not much there, maybe a couple up to the 35.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the plays we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield.
Ball carried by number 20. He was brought down.
I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Hey, I'm not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, if they want to ride him down the stretch, he should have fresh legs.
Another carry for the running back.
They give him 4 yards there. It'll be second and 6.
47-yard line. A gain of 4. It's now second and 6.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get this down only to about the 46.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
To throw is Garoppolo. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds, and they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. And after a sluggish start, he's really bounced back. The numbers bear that out.
And you're a baseball guy, partner. How many at-bats over the course of a baseball season?
Oh, boy. 4 in a game.
Yeah, about the 4 in a game.
4 times 162.
350 or so, right? Sometimes it takes a while for a guy to get going. That's my point. It's not the first few carries. You don't worry about that. As they go along, get that guy lathered up, get those blocking assignments down. Those 2-yard gains turn into bigger gains as the game moves along.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It's another first down on what will be a gain of 21 yards.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
On first down, it's Jones, and they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Second and 9.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
And Cooks has it over the middle. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Some good games going on in the early window. window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now Jones. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
The line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. At the 25-yard line.
Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. Here's Jones. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And he's all the way down to the 6-yard line. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on 1st and goal. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Now the Steelers use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Jones. And he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. This Steeler defense proving its mettle here. And now this is 3rd and goal. Watson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Hollywood Marquise Brown. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Texans have broken the tie.
Hey, that score deserves our respect, deserves our excitement. But I'm looking at the clock, and I'm thinking there's a long way to go in this one.
Ideally, they would have liked to milk a little bit more time off. Now, on the other sideline, you start to get the crew together and say, this is what we practiced the 2-minute drill for, right?
Yeah, you hope you've been in that situation before, and if you haven't, you just have the confidence, hey, let's go down there and get this thing done. But, boy, that's a big score right there to give them the advantage.
Takes this about 5 yards deep, and it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. So Jimmy Garoppolo and the offense down 24-17, a minute 11 to go. And they're in danger of a 3rd straight loss as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. 3 yards to gain there, 2nd down.
It drives some people.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the defense helping him out a little bit here late in the 4th.
And you're exactly right. And when you're the one doing the chasing, you'll take a little help from the other guys, won't you?
The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Garoppolo to throw. He's going to let it fly. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 1-yard.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Jones, and he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
A great come-from-behind victory in this one, Charles, and really the difference, obviously, was that 4th quarter. They dominated.
And it has to start with believing that you can make that comeback. Because we've been in games before. We've done games where you just look at one team and realize they have no chance of making it back. Not in the one we just saw here. They did it, and they did it well.
So for the Texans,